Okay, so Abby just took us through making kale, celery, and carrots. Do you want to talk about why those three work together?
It's really cool. This is a great skin, hair, booster, whatever, and also for your digestive system. When you're going through with carrot especially, carrot is so, beta carotene, it's so good for the skin, the nails, the ladies with your hair, it's fantastic. And then celery, like I was explaining to Amber, is so great with hydration. So, after this, you're really going to feel your body taking and absorbing that in. It has tons of water. And then kale. Kale is just such a neat vitamin K. This little branch, and like I was telling her, you really don't need much. It's not going to produce a lot of juice. But it's just really good just for your overall immune system.
So we put in, 3 leaves of kale?
We put 3 leaves of kale, we put 2 stalks of celery, and 2 carrots.
And that made a glass about this big. Just so you know.
Yeah, because we are not putting in any fruit. I know you have allergies, so typically with something like this, I would add a whole apple, and that fills up the rest of it. Or half an apple. Depending. Or, then you end up putting cucumber, which has tons of awesomeness in it too, but it'll fill up the rest of that glass.
Right. So just for our viewers, poor Abby had to ask me if I have any food allergies, and those of you who don't know me personally, I am allergic to everything that's good for your body. Literally, if it's good, my body does not like it. So I'm allergic to apples, pears, cherries, almonds, kiwi, avocado, sometimes tomato. So just a lot of the really good nutrients that your body needs in fruits and veggies, my body rejects. So she had to make things special for me today.
But that's all right, because the green juices are always the best. They are. If you can avoid putting fruits in your juices, that's what carrot is for. Carrot is an amazing sweetener when it comes to adding that for something as earthy as kale or chard or whatever.
Abby, can you talk a little bit about how do you figure out, because I know some of us are counting calories, some of us are counting carbs. How do you find a balance in your drinks, both if you're only juicing or if you're adding it to your diet? For example, I'm only adding it to my diet. I'm not supplementing my meals with it.
If you're supplementing, I would say do at least 8 ounces a day. Not evening, but I would say like early afternoon, because that way your body has time to completely get rid of those calories, that process them, digest them, whatever. It's hard to really have an exact science as far as that goes. Mainly because my family, we do it for the health benefits. So instead of doing like vitamins, we end up drinking our vitamins through everything that vegetables and fruits kind of bring. I would say the smartest thing would be, if you're calorie counting, to go online or MyFitnessPal and check with each ingredient, like how many calories each one has, and then plan out exactly what you have left or what you can spare or whatever. And then I also sometimes dilute these juices with water, which helps. So you get plenty, you still get your vitamins and everything, but you're getting a substantial amount with water versus.
And how much is too much? Like, how much would you say, okay, you're overdoing it on the juice?
It really depends on which vegetable you're talking about. You really shouldn't do too much beet, because it could actually constipate you. Like if you do too much of a certain vegetable, But for the most part, most of them, you can drink cucumber juice all day long if you wanted to. But again, it's what we were talking about earlier. Your body needs variety. It does. You got to keep that pH balanced. Not too much alkaline, not too much acidity. So don't just drown yourself in making, like if one certain juice works for you today, it doesn't mean that it's going to continue working the same way the rest of the time. Like your body needs, that's why, certain juices are good for energy, and certain juices are good for immune system, and certain, they all have their own awesomeness. So you want to make sure that you keep them balanced and variety, lots of variety.
So one of the things that we were talking about while she was preparing the juices, I like to make in bulk. So when I first started adding juices into my diet, it was because I wanted more fruits and vegetables. Well, I said, I'm going to make, 64 ounces worth of juice so that I can drink it over the next 2 days. Do you want to talk a little bit about why that's not a good thing?
Yeah, you really shouldn't. What I like to do is I like to chop up my vegetables and fruits in advance. Keep them in different storage containers or Ziploc bags, and then have it ready to juice right in the spot. And you want to drink it almost, the more, the closest you can to drinking it right after juicing, the better, because you're getting just the vitamins fresh right out. You got to think of it, it's a live living thing, so it decomposes faster. You know, and you'll taste it. The minute that you pop it in your mouth, you're like, oh, whoa.
Yes, this is much better than my 2-day-old juice. I will admit that.
So yeah, I mean, the most you want to have it in your fridge is 24 hours, unfortunately. And that's the reason why juicing is a dedicated thing. Like, you really got to be dedicated to it. It has to be part of your life.
Right. So, you know, like I've told you guys all along, my whole mantra is progress, not perfection, right? There's always going to be room to improve. For me, step one was just identifying fruits and vegetables that I wanted to incorporate into my diet, and actually buying the appliances and starting to think about myself in this way. So now we're making progress. That's why we're here. So soon, hopefully, we'll reach, you know, closer to perfection. But again, it's a life journey of progress, and we have to understand that it's never going to be perfect, and there's always room for improvement. So please don't shy away from doing this because you don't necessarily know the perfect combination. For the last 3 weeks, I've been having, you know, beets, carrots, and parsley for 3-4 days in a row, or, you know, I would make something else for 4 or 5 days in a row. So again, progress, not perfection.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
All right, what do you want to do next?
Okay, one of the things that I actually wanted to show you was that you can also have fun with juices. It doesn't just have to be necessarily all healthy. You can actually do like, let's say, a girls' night out, you know, or an afternoon with Amber, and spice it up. Yeah, you could spice it up. So I'm actually going to create a juice for you that's with watermelon, cucumber, mint, and a splash of vodka.
Okay, go for it. And by the way, let me just show you guys what I was greeted with.
Yeah.
This lovely bottle is mint, cucumber, and lemon zest.
Yes. That's it.
Now, so, you know, for those of you who can't seem to acquire a taste for water or just want to spice up your water, that was a great tip from Abby, and it was very delicious and refreshing after a 2-hour drive to Santa Monica.
Yes, absolutely. The water zesters, you know, vitamin water is not water. Also, like the squirt, what are those called?
Oh, yeah,
the
those
Mees,
noodles, yeah.
whatever. That is, no. Stay away from anything that comes in a bottle or whatever. Try to make it yourself. You end up saving money, and it ends up tasting way better. So.
Do you want to give them some tips on which sweeteners to use?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the best sweetener I think ever that was created on this earth is honey. Honey. Stevia, I mean, is also alright. But anything in a package, I'm a believer that if you can just get it as raw as possible, this is not raw honey. I mean, I actually ran out. but clove honey, anything like that, honey is just perfection.
So all of you Latin people who make aguas, instead of using that Splenda sugar, throw a little bit of honey in there.
Throw some honey in there. Yeah, you know, my mom is a big believer, and she actually drinks it this way. It tastes really good. But making her coffee with agave. Agave is a fantastic type of honey-ish form. And it sweetens the crap out of that coffee. But it's natural, and it processes through your system way easier. And then the calories aren't empty and...
Okay, so what have we learned so far? As natural as possible.
As natural as possible. Yeah, you come into my fridge or anything like that, it's going to be green.